Hi, let's talk food today as I drink a cup of tea. First time I got to have a cup of tea all day, and I think it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. Food, glorious food. What do you eat? And let's talk about multiple sclerosis and the food or the diet that you're on. The word diet, it's not a nice word, is it? I think sorry about that, that's my dog. I think it kind of projects a negative image, the word diet, that you're trying to lose weight, that it's going to be a hard, long, slow slog, that you won't be able to stick to it. It's just got a lot of negative connotations around it. Instead of saying the lifestyle you're on or what you eat to support your autoimmune condition. Now, I do want to discuss food because food is really important to me. I love my food, my husband loves his food, and the whole family love food. And being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2015, my first question to that neurologist was, oh my gosh, do I now have to go on some kind of weird, crazy diet? What I find quite disturbing is my MS neurologist at the time said, no, you can just carry on eating what you're eating. Really? I've been diagnosed with an autoimmune condition or a condition that is a little bit like a ticking time bomb that I'm going to have all my life. And you're not advising me to change my health and well-being at all, that I just live with MS and there's nothing I can do about it and I can't make any subtle changes. It's going to improve my future. So it was very much, no, you don't really need to look at diet. So following that in 2015, and the world we certainly live in now, we're a lot more educated. There's a lot more resources available to us. Listening to podcasts, scrolling on socials. There's a lot more information available. And there's been a lot of stuff coming out about food, the links of food to different cancers developing and things like that. And I thought, this is not right. Like, surely I should be looking at my diet somehow. I'm not saying that I could ever stop multiple sclerosis and halt it in its tracks by eating a certain food, but I did think surely there'd be some kind of guidance or something that might help some symptoms at least. So my main MS symptoms have always been fatigue, brain fog, and they're like things I live with. I've always said that with my MS, I always feel quite lucky because I've never had really bad pain from it, and I don't suffer in terrible pains with joints or anything like that. I've never been in dire pain, but I do have the day-to-day symptoms, which is the brain fog and the fatigue. So we did look into it massively, me and my husband, diet and nutrition, and how could I help myself living with an autoimmune condition. And that's when all different kinds of autoimmune conditions came up as well, like Crohn's. This isn't an autoimmune condition, but my husband has IBS. So when we started researching food and diet and lifestyle and well-being, two big things were coming up. Certain foods that you're eating could make a hell of a difference and an improvement in your well-being day to day. Certain foods could reduce stress, bring stress levels down. Anti-inflammatory foods, for example, if you were having a flare-up with any kind of autoimmune condition. James's IBS, we realised, could be triggered by gluten massively, because what you're putting in is really working its way down and really messing with the tummy. Gut health is massive. So now let's go on to the MS diet. I'm calling it the MS diet. It's not really a thing. I don't think it's got that label. I'm just going to tell you what I eat and how I manage my multiple sclerosis. We decided to cut out gluten as a family. Just going to have a sip of my brew. With a plant-based milk, I must say, because I've reduced my dairy, but I'll go to that in a minute. So we took out gluten. It was good for James's IBS. It was good for my multiple sclerosis, I believed. Did I see an outcome straight away from removing gluten from my diet? I'll say that I did, yeah. I mean, straight away, my fatigue and my brain fog lifted. And when I say I had brain fog, the best example I can give you that I tell my friends is a bit like, when you're in a restaurant, pre-COVID, when you're in a restaurant and like you're ordering something and then loads of people are talking around you, and I couldn't focus on the menu to know what I wanted to eat because I'd be chatting away. My brain fog kind of lifted that, and it was as if someone turned on a light switch and everything became clearer. I could wake up in the morning and I could do this today, I could do that. And it was just literally like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and I didn't realise I had severe brain fog until it cleared. And that's what I'm now calling it. That's what I'm saying it was. I don't know if it really, really was brain fog. But anyway, removing gluten out of my diet has helped me. I'm not as sluggish and I'm not as tired and I don't have that brain fog. Now, recent studies in the last 1 to 2 to 3 years, a lot of people are coming out with multiple sclerosis and other autoimmune conditions saying you should reduce the dairy, you should reduce the meat. So Dr. Terry Wall, I've mentioned her in a lot of my vlogs before. If you haven't researched Dr. Terry Wall, please do it. She's an incredible doctor who found herself with a multiple sclerosis diagnosis. She was not doing very well with the MS. She was on a bit of a slow decline with it. I've got relapsing remitting MS where it comes and goes, but I do kind of improve and my symptoms do go away after a relapse. I believe Dr. Terry Wall's weren't, and she was on that slow decline. She rapidly changed the nutrition and the food going in her body. I believe she's predominantly plant-based. I can't remember now. It's ages since I did all my research on Terry, but look her up. She's on all the social media outlets. She's incredible. She's just going really, really strong, looking really, really well and happy. And she was on that slow decline. She was in the point of being in a wheelchair. And I believe she no longer needs that aid anymore for her MS. So she's doing incredible. So there's a lot of power in plants. There's a lot of power in certain foods and nutrition that you put in your body. Anti-inflammatory foods are so important. So I've reduced the gluten. So I've removed the gluten, and then I've gone down the route of reducing the dairy. Now, Dr. Terry Wall says completely cut out dairy. And Matthew Embry, if you don't know about him, he's got an amazing documentary called Living Proof on Amazon right now. We are in March 2021, because I know this will just be out there for ages. So Matt Embry, he's completely taken out dairy, whereas I've reduced it. So he's doing really, really remarkably well with his multiple sclerosis as well, and the journey he's on with that. So the MS diet, whatever you want to call it, the lifestyle, the well-being, the change in you since your diagnosis, just give it a go, because I do believe that removing gluten, because gluten is a protein in the body and it's not necessarily good protein. It's a pretty bad protein and the body can react quite badly to it. And in this day and age that we live in, a lot of our breads and our carbohydrates and our processed foods are even more processed. The shelf life is even longer than what it used to be. So unfortunately, there's a lot more stuff added in, just really upping and making that gluten not very good for your body and just sitting there and being sluggish. So I've removed gluten and I've reduced my dairy as my personal MS diet. And I'm not saying one diet suits all. I've always said this, like clothes, sizes. Now, I don't think one diet suits all. I think everybody has slightly different things going on with their bodies. And we should listen to our bodies. If you're craving something as well, I always think you should have it and don't deny yourself. But I do think keeping a well-balanced proportion of the right foods is so important to keep everything working. For me, I'm very interested in any food that's going to help me with my brain health. We all know with MS, that brain is shrinking. You could have 1 lesion, you could have 10 lesions, it doesn't matter. But you have something going on, and that's between your brain and your spine and all your nerves and everything that's connected there. And I just think by trying to help myself out and improve myself with nutrition and certain types of food, you can't go wrong. And as I said, I don't deny myself something. If I fancy something, then I will have it. But day to day, I try and keep a good general sense of well-being. So that's me. That's my MS diet. Loads of people have asked me over the years, what do you eat? How do you cook? And then I often do recipes. So I'm going to do a couple more vlogs on something I've cooked. Recently, I've reduced the meat. So we will probably have about 5 meals out of 7 that are veggie, and 2 meals that do contain meat. I do like the children to still have a variety of foods. They're still eating dairy. I like them to have cheese while they're small and growing for their bones and their calcium. And I still like them to have meat. I don't want to feel that they're denying themselves. It's their choice when they're older, what path they're going to take with nutrition. But right now I'm here as a parent just to guide them and say, well, mummy's got this condition called multiple sclerosis, and this is why mummy eats the way she does. So that's little old me. I just wanted to come on here and talk about food, glorious food, because I love it. And if you want any tips on cooking or recipes, I am no chef, but I do love my food. And I'm often there to drop you a recipe if you want to go a bit more veggie, or you want to work out a swap or a substitute for something. The will just touch upon the gluten substitutes. The ready-made packaged, oh great, it says it's gluten-free, I'm going to buy it. Oh great, it says it's gluten-free. Sometimes they'll remove the gluten and they'll up the sugar, which is like, oh, which one's going to give me more damage really in the long run? So you've just got to be clever with things like that. Your best bet is just eat natural. You know, if it's come from the earth, it's grown that way, it's natural. The strawberry, it's natural. If you're going for a bar, then someone's put that together and they've got a list of ingredients in there. Not saying all bars are bad, because there's a lot of really good bars out there that are designed for health and nutrition. So that's me, and that's my MS diet. Have a good day.